I mean, how could you not? He's a
For
stud.
sure. I would have, you know, it would have been hard for me to let him go in the fourth and hope that he comes back to me on the fifth. So I probably would have ended up pulling the trigger. Like
Right.
I got the ninth in that pick or in that draft.
Really. Wow. So okay, so like at 9, who are you targeting? You think
Um,
nine's
Aaron
tough.
Jones, Aaron
Nine's
Jones,
tough.
Devontae Adams, Austin Eckler.
Yeah,
Those are the three.
I picked at 8, and
Nick Chubb, if like if those three happen to go, and I'm left with like Zeke, Barkley, and Chubb, I'll probably end up going Chubb in that scenario.
really over Zeke,
Yeah, over Zeke and Barkley probably. Yeah,
man.
'cause I think this is the year that Chubb stays healthy, and he'll probably. I think he might lead the league in touchdowns.
I mean, he'd smash. He would just smash. But
Yeah.
over Zeke, man, I don't know. Oh, Zeke's so good. Is it
Yeah,
what?
no.
What?
Zeke is just in one of the best offenses. Really, he's like I don't think he's very
Oh
efficient.
yeah, he's not great. But like, I don't know. Didn't he have like a 77 catch season at one point?
No, that's the thing. He's just gonna be involved a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna have the ball a lot,
They're
and
just
he'll be
gonna
scoring a lot,
throw so many
and
plays. It's like I don't
that's
know.
the thing. But he's not gonna be Aaron Jones efficient.
Yeah. Well,
So
there you
Aaron
go.
Jones. That's why Aaron Jones to me is a better pick in that situation. Same type of offense, better player.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me. Well, do you
So
wanna?
you want to jump in?
Sure, just go for it.
All right. So let's talk about Denver. I
Oh
don't.
my
I
god.
so we switched computers like I was just telling you. So I don't have my projections or anything, which
Oh,
sucks.
it's
But that's okay.
it's fine.
So Denver, they're gonna be a fun team. Fangio's third year. I love him as a coach
Mm-hmm.
and what he does with the defensive side and like just kind of overall scheme and preparation for the game and kind of that old school mentality. But yeah, so really love that. Excited to be near that here in Colorado Springs. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I have plenty to say. What do you like about Denver, and is there anyone in particular that you're targeting or like want to not leave drafts with, anything like that?
Well, our first of how far are you from Denver? Like how far would it take to drive there?
So like 45 minutes. I went to a Rockies game on Friday, and it took us like 45 minutes to get there, even with the traffic on a Friday
That's
afternoon.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, what is not nice is the entire Broncos offense, in my opinion. So like they have a lot of talent. Like I know you're a big Cortland Sutton talent guy, and like how could you not be? Like he's huge, he's productive, he's great. Jerry Judy. I mean, obviously he gets the draft capital last year. Everyone foams in the mouth because he runs good routes. I mean, Javante Williams, he breaks every tackle. Melvin Gordon gets a big contract, but like at the end of the day, you have not only two. This is off the dome because I don't have my notes, but two top 35 drafted receivers, two top 35 drafted running backs, plus a top 10 tight end and Noah Fant, and KJ Hamler, and potentially Tim Patrick still. Like, there's just a lot of weapons, and the quarterbacks are perhaps the worst in the NFL. Drew Lock is going as QB 32 right now on underdog, and Teddy Bridgewater is QB 37. And the offensive line is, I believe, PFF's 21st ranked line. So, all kinds of talent that will all monopolize each other, or cannibalize is the word I'm looking for, with bad quarterbacks and bad lines. So I don't really want that, but I haven't looked into it that deeply. So I mean, what do you think?
I think you're right. The quarterback play is going to be uninspiring at best.
Yeah.
So, so what's the best you can hope for? To me, the best case scenario is Jerry Judy in a PPR situation with um, Teddy Bridgewater as quarterback.
Yeah.
He's going to be a little more accurate, a little more safe. Judy's definitely going to be a bigger separator than Cortland Sutton is,
Mm-hmm.
so he's just going to default to more targets, um, more catches, PPR, wide receiver three, which is roughly the range he's going. Sometimes wide receiver four if you go that heavy early.
Mm-hmm.
But a great wide receiver three at that for that situation. Outside of that, you're really kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. You're not going to have any kind of you know, what did we see out of KJ Hamler last year? Didn't he have like a two touchdown game?
Yeah, and I mean that was about it. But
So
you know,
what that's that's like kind of the best case scenario is the defense is going to be better, so they're not going to be as bad as they were last year. And does that mean that they get to lean more on the Teddy Bridgewater type, the safer type? And it's like you said, even doesn't matter which quarterback, uninspiring at best.
Yeah.
The ceiling is really capped on those guys. So the best thing you can hope for is the volume with Judy and Bridgewater. If it's Locke, then who knows what happens. But Bridgewater, I think that's the one thing you can bank on is volume.
Yeah, and like another thing is like if these guys were going like okay, so like in like Jerry Judy has had a lot of hype, I mean, you've probably heard like the like unrealized air yard argument and like just like all these things that are like empty volume, but it's like how can he improve on that? Like he was separating last year and he didn't get the ball. Like all these stats that you're saying, oh, he would have been this if this happened. It's not gonna happen again. Like he's going as a wide receiver 3. No way. sorry. I just got a funny text. He's going as a wide receiver 3, and like to outperform that ADP, he just needs to climb so many hurdles that I just don't want him. And then speaking of the running backs too, I don't know why Javonte Williams is getting so much hype because like I jokingly said like oh like the Melvin Gordon injury, but like he's practicing now. Like, do you know what's happening with that hype there with Javonte or?
I think it's the rookie. That's just what the beat reporters are saying at a camp that the coaches want Javonte to take the lead.
Yeah.
I think that the hidden thing there is that Melvin Gordon is, I think, the highest paid player on the offense.
Yeah, and
of course they want the rookie who's being paid the least to
right
take over, so they have justice to cut this guy.
But also,
I think that's the hype really built into Javonte is those people are foreseeing a situation where Melvin Gordon isn't there, whether it's through injury or trade or cut or whatever. They're banking on the fact that Javonte, if it's not by week 1 taken over, somewhere in the middle of the season has taken over that lead role on a team that has a good defense and wants to rely on defense and running the football. So if they have a good running game in Javonte, it's only going to lead to more volume for him. And if Teddy Bridgewater is under center, he'll check down. Mike Davis was great for him last year. And imagine how this kid would be for that in that situation. So that's where I think the hype comes from Javonte. It's kind of like it's a built-in, I think this is what's going to happen and it's going to turn into a big role. And I went wide receiver early, so I'm going to reach on this guy who I think would be a plug-and-play RB2.
Exactly. And, okay, a couple of things there. That was great stuff. Really quietly, Melvin Gordon was the RB14 last year overall. Like, he was damn near an RB1. And looking at his advanced stats, they're not inspiring by any means, but he wasn't bad. And right now, Javonte, I think he's going as RB24 on Underdog, which is ahead of a guy like Myles Gaskin. I mean, right now, like, it'll change, but ahead of a guy like J-Rob, ahead of a guy like Mike Davis. And, like, I'm not even fans of those guys, but they're going to get volume at some point in the year, guaranteed. Like, there's a scenario, and... Oh, am I losing you? 1 second.
I think...
Oh, no, sorry. I thought my connection was, like, coming out. But, sorry. Anyways, like, there's a scenario where Melvin Gordon is just there. And there's a scenario where Melvin Gordon is the guy because he is the incumbent starter. Like, he's not going anywhere. And, I mean, Javonte is sneaking into back in RB2 range. And, like, at that point, there's all kinds of guys I'd rather have than him at the ADP, so.
Yeah. What you're really doing is you're drafting him for the potential ceiling.
Yeah.
If you're drafting him that high, that's why. There really is. It's not because, like, oh, he's super safe. It's for that potential ceiling. And you know that you have to take him there to get him.
Yeah. Yep.
Melvin Gordon, like you said, wasn't the greatest last year, even though he finished at RB14.
Yeah.
But, like Tyler Lockett finished at wide receiver, whatever, like 12 or something, and technically a wide receiver 1.
He wasn't startable most weeks. It's like...
Right. It's about, you want that consistency, and that's built in, and so what, you finished where you did, and you had a couple great games.
Right.
I don't know, like, the thing for Gordon is, so he wasn't so great last year, even though he got a decent amount of volume and it propelled him to a RB14. He's a year older. He's he's probably not going to be better, more efficient this year. Like, just that's another reason why I think that the coaches want him out is
Yeah.
they realize that he's not going to get better with age. That not many running backs do. I don't like. Can you name any?
No. Like, and especially with the position where the shelf life is like so short, and I mean, it's been well documented. Like, there's guys like a Melvin Gordon, and like to like a very 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 higher degree, a guy like a Derrick Henry, who I have a lot of concerns about, which will be later. But like just because they can just fall off a cliff like out of nowhere, just like out of nowhere, they're just done because the body isn't meant to take that, and it happens fast when it happens, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, that's again why I invest in wide receivers or pass catchers early in the draft.
Yep.
You know, you want those top tier guys, and those top tier guys are less likely to get hurt than the running backs.
Yeah.
Just as a basic rule. So Noah Fant, he's like going in sometimes like before the 10th round. Would you consider like drafting him at all? You in like a scarce tight end positional?
no, he's
Pool, you know?
I don't know. He's and this is totally different, but like for quarterbacks, there's a clear top five for me, and ends with Dak Prescott, and then QB6 is Russ Wilson usually, and he goes like right after Dak, and like I think there's a big tier break there, and I promise I'm getting somewhere, but like there's a big tier break between Dak and Russ in my opinion, just for like the ceiling, and it's kind of like that way for tight ends where you have your top three, well top one, then other two, and then you have Pitts, Andrews, and Hawkinson. I was blinking, and Hawkinson, and then after that it's like no man's land, and he's kind of there. So, I mean, I've drafted Pitts, I've drafted Waller, I've drafted Kelsey. I try to get him there, and then if not, I'm getting Adam Troutman or Jonathan Smith, which is way later. And Fant is just kind of in this like zone where I'm filling out my wide receiver 4, wide receiver 3, or I'm getting another running back for depth because I just don't see the upside with a guy like Fant in this offense, and I'm not a huge fan. But what about you?
Same. What's best case scenarios? He gets double digit touchdowns. With little volume.
Yeah.
Um,
Best case scenario.
He still ends up middle of the pack, and you're kind of wasting a pick on an upside wide receiver or running back for your bench that you're going to need in bye weeks or in injury situations.
Right.
It's just running back depth and wide receiver depth is just so important that you have to pass on these tight ends in those middle to 10th round.
Exactly, and like, and for a guy like Noah, so like when you're drafting these upside receivers, running backs, these like potential league winners, there's usually like a path for them to win your league. That's what they call league winners. Like a guy like Devontae Smith is probably going around Noah Fant, and I'm not a Smith fan long term, but there's a path this year where he is the clear wide receiver 1 target hog and just gets fed, and he could win your league at a certain point, and he's not even a guy with like huge upside that you like look at. But for a guy like Noah Fant to get anything close to that, you just need so much luck, because even if he has like an insane variant season where he gets 10, 11 touchdowns, like where is he getting the yards from, or the receptions to? Like he's gonna be in that dead zone still of like tight end 4 to 7, and like there's just no upside for Noah Fant, and I don't want it. So
Agreed. There's too many mouths to feed on the offense.
Yep.
That the coaching staff is going to want to utilize. It's not like he's the only guy in town, and they're just going to, ride him to the win. There's a lot of ways for this team to win, and Noah Fant is just a piece. He's not a cornerstone.
Exactly. Yep, I agree. Well,
so Denver, yeah, I like their DST. We should talk about that for a quick second. Leagues have defenses and special teams. They have a nice starting schedule. I think their first 3 games are pretty cake.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind for your very last pick, and we can move on to Las Vegas.
I always appreciate those like DST recommendations too. So that's great. But Las Vegas, man, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. It's it's weird to say. It's like still like Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
I
Las Vegas.
I was
Um,
looking. I was looking at Josh Jacobs like stats like the other day. I was like, wait, like he switched teams cause like in like Pro Football Reference it says Oakland and Las Vegas and it's like what the hell, like it's just so weird.
it's funny. So Josh Jacobs, like how does that break down with him and Kenyon Drake? I'm looking at it and it's like I think that Gruden, he was I don't know, maybe it seems that way because they had like their little special on I can't remember, I think it was on Hard Knocks because
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs was a rookie that year, and they talk about how he was just such a fan of his and his story, and so like made it seem like he's been following him for a long time.
Yeah.
So and talking about how he knows that he's good in certain situations and what he's good at, what he's bad at, yada yada yada. Point is, I think he wants Josh Jacobs to be a straight up split 50-50 back,
Oh.
where it's not so much about who's the lead guy. It's about keeping the fresh guy on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're just going to be just in and out, in and out, in and out. Fresh guy, fresh legs.
Mm.
The hot hand be damned. We're going to split touches and make sure that we have both of you guys at the end of the season. I think
Yeah.
that's Gruden's plan with Drake and Jacobs. So, what do you think?
And if that happens, it's a disaster for Josh Jacobs owners because, the, like I don't know because like it fluctuates when like Etan gets hurt and whatnot, but there's like 26, maybe 27 running backs that like at the very very bottom we're talking about like Mike Davis, Myles Gaskin, like guys that are like going to get volume at some point. But there's like a certain amount of guys. Let's say it's 26. Of guys that you just know are gonna get volume, and then like as you get higher, there's guys like DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders who have more upside. But then you get the Jacobs, and it's just such an unexciting pick. It's just so uninspiring because he's going in the range of guys like Miles Sanders who have some form of upside, and he's going like a round after DeAndre Swift who has all kinds of upside. And when you pick Jacobs, you're like, okay, I have an RB2 that will probably be good, but where's Jacobs' ceiling to anything? I mean, Drake, I believe, has had 50 catches in multiple years in his career, and I mean, Jacobs was RB8 last year, probably worse in points per game, probably like RB12 in points per game. Don't call me, but I mean, if Drake gets hurt, it's like, wow, Jacobs is gonna be RB12 again. Like his range of outcomes is so small that I just pass on him every time. And maybe I'm wrong because like if I'm in an RB0 build, like he could be fine as like a cornerstone, but I just don't see myself getting him much at all. So what about you?
I don't end up drafting him at all.
Yeah.
Even in a situation where I go wide receiver heavy at the top, I don't end up drafting Jacobs just because I think what you just said, he's not gonna the ceiling isn't there. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm in those ranges, you don't want to draft for especially in a running back position, you need to draft for the ceiling. Like
Yeah.
you don't want a floor for a running back is what, like 4 points?
Oh yeah.
Like, so
Low.
Who cares about a floor? Like you want the ceiling, you want the maximum touches available at that position of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not Jacobs.
Not at all.
He's a safe 10 touches, but it could easily be 4 points.
Yeah, it could. And no,
So Jacobs.
you're fine.
Jacobs
Sorry.
and Drake, I'm not drafting, but the wide receivers I am interested in because they're all going super late.
Oh yeah.
Edwards getting the hype in camp. Derek Carr is a functional quarterback. He's not a world beater, but he's going to have his bad games, but generally going to be pretty steady, and that's good enough for one fantasy wide receiver a week.
Yeah.
So potentially it could be the same guy in multiple weeks or in a row. And is Brian Edwards that guy? And why is
Um,
it not John Brown?
or Henry. I'm just kidding. That ain't happening.
It's only not happening because of Hunter Renfrow. And Hunter
Oh
Renfrow's a
yeah.
good slot receiver, and so there's no point for him to put Ruggs in there unless it's a four wide receiver set.
God, it's just so ugly, bro. Like it's just so ugly.
And is Ruggs gonna be like pushed off the field with John Brown and Brian Edwards?
That'd be really 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 funny if this like Jerry Judy hype like is anything, and then CD Lamb is gonna. I mean, he's gonna tear it up, and then you just have Ruggs not playing on one of the weakest receiving corps in the league. Like that'd just be really funny in my opinion. But I don't know.
And it's it's so weird.
It's
It's so
awful.
weird.
It's so awful. Like what the hell, dude? I don't know. But I mean,
Well, you might as well trade him and get what you can for him now.
Yeah.
His value's completely tanked.
you could probably get a second for Ruggs. What do you think?
If I were Gruden, I would do that.
Yeah. Well-
I mean, unless either that or trade Renfro and put Ruggs in the slot, like
That's
utilize this guy that you drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
13
I don't
overall.
understand.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, yeah, they're receivers. I have a couple of shares of Edwards. The track record for guys that go out and just shit the bed as a rookie, it's not very good. But I mean, Edwards is a unicorn from a profile standpoint. John Brown, I don't know why I'm not on him. I mean, like, I guess I'll have a couple of shares at some point, but I don't know. I'm more interested in a guy like Brandon Cooks that's that old, but I mean that's not even related. I just don't like John Brown. Hunter Renfrow I have no interest in. Ruggs no interest. I mean I have a couple of shares of Edwards at the end of my bench, but I mean this team really starts and ends with in fantasy Darren Waller. So what do you think about him?
So Waller's a beast.
Yeah.
Like when you're looking at this team from a projection standpoint, and you look at the receiving core and like how ambiguous it is, and you see that shining light at the tight end position, he's gonna see massive volume. He's probably gonna end up with 100 catches, maybe 110, which would be just ridiculous.
Insane.
He's a must draft at the ADPs going.
Oh yeah, smash.
Like this team has to use him every single game ever. There is no like game plan that doesn't involve Darren Waller.
Mm-hmm.
He should be treated just like Travis Kelce. Kelce's just on a better offense with a better quarterback.
Yeah.
So he gets that bump. But the volume standpoint and the treatment of the player in the offense is the same.
We could be looking at a legitimately special season from Darren Waller, because I mean, if you look at last year, he just tore it up down the stretch. He just tore it up, and the team's leading receiver leaves. Like that doesn't happen. There's nobody remotely close to talented in the receiving room. He comes in. I mean, Derek Carr is a great quarterback for him because he's just looking at him all the time with these like underneath routes, getting all these targets, high catch rate. He's gonna get fed targets, and Darren Waller is actually himself very special. I mean, he's an athletic specimen. He only has 2 years really in the league, and like he's the youngest 28, 29-year-old that there is in the league because he doesn't have any like wear and tear. And the scary thought is he could still be getting better because of his inexperience in the league. And like if that happens, I mean, you're looking at an absolutely insane ceiling for a guy, like 110 catches, 10 touchdowns, like just an insane ceiling for Darren Waller, and I'm here for it in the late second round all day.
Yeah, I mean, look at the team scoring. Who's going to be a red zone presence? The only one is Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to punch it in on the ground, but all of the red zone looks are going to be Darren Waller.
Oh my God, he could just smash like unprecedented, like ridiculous.
Yeah. With touchdown luck.
Oh my God.
Who
Like
knows what could happen?
insane.
I don't want to say he passes Kelce as tight end 1 because that'd be insane.
Yeah.
But like Kelce has been all right. Look at it this way: Kelce's been like beating 300 fantasy points a year.
Yeah.
PPR wise, beating 300 kind of perennially.
Yeah.
Easily. No one else is breaking 300 at the tight end position. Few are doing it at other positions.
Oh no.
Yeah. Outside of quarterbacks.
Mhm.
But Waller, if he could get to 290, or maybe flirt with 300, then he's into that elite territory, which puts him, easy 50 points ahead of the rest of the pack.
What does he need? He needs what? 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and 12 scores gets him to 280, and that's not even stretching it too much. I don't think. I mean, if he gets a little bit of TD luck, if he can get to like
that's a little low on the yardage for that many catches.
Yeah.
If he could get into the 1350s.
If he can get to 105 catches with, I mean, just a couple big plays here and there to get the yards per catch higher. I mean, we're looking at a potential 19, 20 point per game score at the time, and that just doesn't happen ever. Like he's clearly the tight end 2 for me. Oh, I mean, like over Kittle, and it's not particularly close. Like they're in the same tier, but it's like, I mean, it's like here and here. It's not close for me.
Waller is a safe pick at that position. Kittle, just a few picks later, is a much riskier.
Oh yeah, all kinds of
riskier.
And like for Kittle, it's not just coming off injury. It's going to a system where Trey Lance could be the quarterback, who might not be. I mean, like he's been great, but he might not be an accurate passer per se. There could be less volume. Brandon Ayuk is exploding as a great option. Like there's just a world where Kittle is just as awesome in real life football, and just is tight end 4 in fantasy. And Darren Waller will not get to tight end 4 ever. Like I don't know what to say. Like he's not getting there. He's gonna get fed volume.
You're right. It's a super safe pick at that point in the draft for a scarce position.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna get a great advantage each week with him.
Every week. Yep.
It's a great pick and is a safe pick. I fully endorse Darren Waller.
Wait, okay, let's do a little like roulette, because my cousin had this choice and I didn't know what to say. Would you rather have Darren Waller or AJ Brown, who we'll get to in a little bit?
Well, both are going to be your second pick.
Yeah.
At that point in the draft, it's most likely that you took a top tier running back.
Yeah.
So give me Waller for the positional advantage.
I agree.
Where Brown is in a much deeper pool of players.
What about like Keenan Allen or Justin Jefferson? Do you like them better than Waller, or is it still Waller?
Jefferson as a wide receiver 1, I really like. So that's debatable for me. I guess it would depend on who's on the board after him.
Yeah.
So like, if AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson are on the board, and Darren Waller, I feel safe taking Waller with an opportunity to get one of the others, one of those two on the way back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're probably at the end of the second. One of those last 4 picks of the second.
Yeah. Man.
If Keenan Allen is one of those, you could throw Keenan Allen in that mix.
Yeah.
I would take any of those 3 as my wide receiver 1 if Waller is my tight end and I have a top tier running back. Yes.
That'd just be an awesome start. Imagine you go like Dalvin Cook, Darren Waller, Justin Jefferson, like that. I mean, that's just awesome, isn't it? And that's entirely feasible. Like it's possible.
That probably happens a lot, actually.
That'd be so awesome, dude. I'd be ecstatic to have that team.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well.
Great team right there. So okay, we're not drafting Derek Carr. Who cares?
No.
We can go to where we at. We're at the Chargers.
Damn, Chargers.
Austin Eckler's the man.
Yeah, and I'll let you talk about it because he is your guy. Dynasty too.
Eckler's my guy, my dynasty own, my RB1, and that's a PPR league, so I'm totally fine with that. And I'll rely on that PPR volume all day long, and that's the beauty of Austin Eckler in a PPR format is he's got that sneaky volume that will propel him to a easy RB12 finish.
Oh yeah.
So, ninth ninth overall pick, I'll take him. Anywhere after that, I'll take him as an RB1. He was hurt last year with a hammy, I believe, or a quad, one or the other.
It's
and
something
it was pretty
like
bad. So that's really my only concern for him is a re-aggravation, which those just kind of pop out of nowhere with those type of injuries.
Yeah.
Once you hurt it, it can kind of just creep up on you. So outside of that, though, there's no reason not to like him. He's head and shoulders above anyone else in the running back room.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen is going to be him. He's like not only his greatest adversary in volume, but he's also going to like help Austin Eckler in a way that if Keenan Allen gets open, he'll get the ball. But if Keenan Allen's covered, that means an Austin Eckler's open. And vice versa. And that's, I think, kind of how the offense is going to run. And so that Herbert is only going to have to look at one side and get two reads.
Mm-hmm.
And then your third read would be your downfield shot to Mike Williams. And I don't know why that wouldn't be the play every single time.
Yeah.
Outside of a straight run play. It's going to be really fun to watch. I think Keenan Allen is also going to eat and just be a PPR monster.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are going to hurt in touchdown. I think that Herbert is going to take a step back this year. He had such a great rookie season. It's going to be hard for him to repeat what he did with a tougher schedule.
Yeah.
They did better last year than they did the year before. Schedule's going to get tougher. He's going to have to show out if he's going to even repeat what he did. So I think we can expect a little light on the touchdowns for the Chargers in general, but that still makes Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen okay for those late round wide receiver and running back ones.
Yep.
Or late end
back end.
Wide receivers. Yeah, back end. Thank you.
You're fine.
And surely on volume for PPR.
I got really, really, really excited about Austin Eckler when I was doing some research about him. So I believe it was 2 years ago. With Melvin Gordon, so 2019, he averaged 19.8 PPR points per game, which is very impressive. It was actually RB4, and that was with Melvin Gordon. So for the entirety of the season. So 19.8 points per game. Last year, and this is always the example because like it's just like mind-boggling to me. Last year, Derrick Henry had the 5th most rushing yards of all time. Any player in history, he had the 5th most rushing yards of all time, and he averaged 20.8 points per game. So 1 point per game more than Austin Eckler. And Austin Eckler averaged 8.6 rushing attempts per game that year. So he's not even carrying the ball 10 times. Last year, without Melvin Gordon, obviously, with like Joshua Kelly and a bunch of scrubs, he averaged 12.6. I don't know. It was 13 carries per game. And just taking that, and let's say he even gets a little more. If he can get to like 13, 14 carries per game with his 100 catch upside, which was prevalent in 2019, like this is a guy with an incredible, insane, like 22, 23, like a ceiling higher than most players that are going around him. A ceiling higher than a guy like Nick Chubb or Derrick Henry, because they can get like, and this is only full PPR. I'm like endorsing this, but if a guy like Austin Eckler can touch the ball 13 times per the game on the ground and then get 6 targets, which was what he was getting like 2 years ago, you're looking at a ceiling that is higher than almost every player in fantasy. Because if you're a guy like Derrick Henry or JT or Nick Chubb, your ceiling, which we saw last year, which I mean it was Derrick Henry's like masterpiece. He averaged less than 21 points per game in PPR. And Eckler got there with 8 carries per game, essentially like to the same number. So, I mean, Eckler has a very, very, very high ceiling if he can get there with a little more like rushing volume. And I mean, obviously, like you were saying, he has very high floors in PPR, but I think his ceiling is very, very underrated if he can get lucky on either rushing attempts or touchdowns. So I'm all over him at pick 9 even too. I just love him. So
totally. And at 9, I'm even like tempted to let him. In times where I'll get him on the way back.
Yeah.
In mocks, and that's like, woo, what a day.
Yeah.
Good day at the office. Okay, so Keenan Allen, he's always been light in the touchdown area.
Yeah.
But he's going to be eaten PPR wise. After him, Mike Williams, and we have the rookie.
Josh Palmer.
Palmer.
Yeah.
And we don't care, right?
No. Oh, okay. Like real quick. So I just got a notification that said that this meeting is gonna end in like 5 minutes. So if you get kicked out, I'll just join back and it'll be fine. But
okay.
That's the point. So I mean, Allen, I'm a big fan of. I actually liken him to like a Stephon Diggs-esque player. Just like lighter, just like 10% less everything, but same type of player. So like I like him. But I mean, Mike Williams and Josh Palmer, I just don't see it. I mean, even with the like vacated volume from Hunter Henry, I mean, I guess you could take Mike Williams, take a shot on him, but I mean, I'm not too confident in anybody besides Eckler or Allen. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly upside with Mike Williams, but it's mostly empty.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like he didn't really show up a lot last year when Herbert was ascending. So what's to make us think that all of a sudden he's going to be a major factor? If it happens, it'll probably come on slowly, and you'll probably be able to pick him up off the waiver wire in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Is how I would approach Mike Williams.
Exactly.
He's not someone that I'm like trying to get on my team, and I'm upset if I don't get him like in that position. So, Herbert, he's going like mid rounds.
Yeah.
I really can't do it. You know, like I already said, he had such a great rookie season, and I think he is going to be hard pressed to even repeat what he did. So
yeah.
Where's the upside in that pick?
Exactly, and like I should have used him as the example, but he's going in that Russ Wilson range, which is just after the top 5 quarterbacks, and like I don't know why you would ever want a guy like that. I mean, Dak Prescott was QB1 when he got hurt last year. He's gonna have all kinds of volume, and they're getting him like a round earlier. Like Herbert just doesn't have anything close to that ceiling, and he's probably gonna regress. I have no interest in him at all.
I totally agree. So with that said, Keenan Allen and Eckler, grab them early.
Yep.
Get them on your team. They're going to be studs. Outside of that, there's no reason to reach on anybody else in this team.
I agree.
In a tough division, there's going to be a lot of scoring. We got like less than a minute. You want to cut this and rejoin, and we'll get into the Chiefs?
We could, or
keep going.
I mean, yeah, I say we just keep going because like maybe it just lets us go. I mean, probably not, but it's worth a shot, I think.
Okay, so Kansas City Chiefs. Let's start with the running game and CEH. I've seen him going at the end of second round, middle, third, if like at the very latest.
Yeah.
He makes sense for a running back 1 in that situation. Like if you went wide receiver, he's a great RB1.
Yeah.
What do you think about CEH?
CEH, man. No way, bro. That's so funny. 1 second. I'm texting him right now. That's hilarious. Looks like you guys just have me for now. Upgrade your... Man, fuck Zoom Pro. Fuck Zoom Pro. Fuck regular Zoom, too. Pay to win. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Absurdity. Anyways. Let's get back. That's funny as hell. Fuck, bro, that's so funny to me. It just cut off after I was like, nah, we can try. Damn, I'm a dumbass. Man. Stick's too smart. He knew. Launch meetings. Oh no, not you, man. What the hell, man? What the hell, bro? On some bullshit, man. Zoom meetings. Host a meeting with video on. I need to invite StickStomper once again. Oh, I got the boof. I got the boof ass Wi-Fi again. And the boof ass. Hey. Shouts out, Danny Brown, best rapper ever. No cap, bro. No hat, my boy. Invite. Nobody Nobody dox Stick. He's a cool guy. Don't dox him. Why is it not loading, my boy? What the hell? What in the hell? This is so stupid, bro. I'm so pissed, bro. It's so stupid, bro. Copy invite link. Fuck it, we're going straight to the Gmail. Quit lying, man. I got it. Meeting passcode. Bullshit, man. Why is it not loading, bro? This is confusing to me. Next time I'm using Google Meets. Shout out Concord High School. Damn, this is really awful. I will not leave timestamps. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to do that. That sounds like a lot of work to me. Oh, here we go. Compose an email. Nobody docs him. He's a cool guy. There we go. Oh, I can just send it here. Fuck, I'm a dumbass. Here we go. Boom. Okay, there we go. Now I gotta join it myself. Sent. See, this is what we do for you guys because we care so much about you. We care so much about you that we go through all this. What the hell? Now I gotta join it over here. I gotta go over here. I gotta go over here. This bougie ass. Stop video. Stop it. Stop the video. Oh, I gotta do this again. Fuck, man. It's so annoying. Meeting ID. Okay, I gotta get going, though. Because this meeting is timed, my boy. How's it going? Oh, sure you can't hear me. 5996. Password. Fuck, bro. Password. PL26. Hell yeah. Business is booming. Business is booming. Oh shit. Please let me work. Can you hear me? I don't think you can hear me. You don't think you can hear me, bro? Start video. I gotta hear now. We're cool. Mute. No, my. Oh no, I don't. No. I'm cool. Bruh. Birthday cake. Smells good.
What'd it do?
Hell yeah. Dude, I'm a dumbass, man. You were like, you want to stop it? I was like, nah. And you just cut off right away. That was funny.
Nah, we're good.
Alright. Well.
Hey.
You good?
Hey, I think we're good.
Dude, I like your vinyl in the background. It's pretty dope, by the way.
Cheers. I finally got the one I was looking for.
Hell yeah, bro. Alright, well, wait. We're talking about CEH, right?
We were. CEH, he's a late second to middle third if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And he makes sense as an RB1 to me. If you go wide receiver, or even as an RB2, I guess, if you're going to get him in the early third.
Yeah.
Great pick regardless.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It almost seemed like he was too good to be true last year, because he was. I mean, he comes out, and it's like, this dude is the dynasty RB1. Like, he had 25 carries, and it's like, dude, like, he's the second coming of anything. Like, he's the shit. And I still think that's kind of there, like, the same narrative. He just kind of, like, didn't play well last year. So, like, I'm buying him at his price because I still think that it's a possibility that he is this like transcendent talent and scores 20 TDs. So I'm taking him like the whole story is like empty opportunity and not enough touchdowns, and it's like I I don't know. I'm willing to bet on it, but I don't really know why. I mean, this is just really lazy analysis, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I've heard a couple like crazy stats on him and his touchdowns last year. Like, did he score any touchdowns inside the 5?
No, and it was on like that Thursday night game. He got stuffed like 5 times, and it's like damn, like.
And, all right, so if he gets a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
The goal line, you know.
He was historically bad.
Maybe it was just not the right play.
Right.
So not only will that give him a little more touchdowns, but who do you think got those touchdowns that he didn't score?
Ooh, the answer was always Tyreek Hill every single time. Oh my God. Yeah. Wow.
Tyreek and Kelsey.
Yeah. Yep.
Benefited from CEH's lack of touchdowns.
Exactly.
So if CEH is a little bit more efficient, it's going to hurt those guys and maybe put a little bad taste in your mouth in where you drafted them if you go a little too high on Kelsey. That's my concern with him this year. Is he was so good last year. I think he's bound to regress even if it's just a tiny bit.
Oh my God.
But
I wouldn't have seen a new Titan 1 like just so bad, like just so bad, like yeah. I was going through Kelsey's like splits, and like every year he's the Titan 1, but it's always a new person that's like close as hell, like really close. Like last year Waller, like he wasn't close, but like he was like 50 points away, and like Kyle Rudolph was like Titan 2 1 year behind him. It's like it's someone every year that's just close, but like nobody can just supplant him. Like he's just the shit. I don't know what to say.
It's crazy. He's a hell of a player and he's a hell of a presence. He's like having I was trying to compare him to someone in the NBA. He's not quite as big as like Valanciunas or whatever.
Yeah. Valanciunas.
He's like having that type of guy at tight end. He's just a box out machine.
He's insane.
And that's what he's so great for. It's fun to watch, fun to own in Dynasty, or fun to own in general.
I have a good idea. Okay, so I say we talk. Okay, this is like so like on the fly. I say we talk about like McCole Hardman if you want to, Pat Mahomes obviously, but then we do our. Oh wait, okay. Then we talk about Tyreek and the top 4, right? But then we also say who should be the first pass catcher taken, and then talk about Kelsey with those guys in the mix.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Well, McCole Hardman. Any interest?
He's going like I don't even know where he's going, like 10th round.
Yeah.
I'm sure. You know what he's good for? He's good to draft when you draft Tyreek Hill.
Is he really?
I think. Other than that, I don't really have any interest. But if I take Hill, then I'm interested in having him. If you're gonna handcuff anyone as a wide receiver, that's kind of what I treat Nicole. He's a wide receiver handcuff.
That makes sense to me actually. I'll be honest. I was not on McCole Hardman because I was like, oh, like it's the same thing every year. I was not on McCole Hardman until I saw Evan Silva talk about him. Wait, that's making sense. I saw Evan Silva talk about him. I heard Evan Silva talk about him is the correct term. Evan Silva, like the GOAT fantasy guy, like he's just a stud, right? But he was making the argument that he's of value, and I was like, interesting. So I listened to it, and I was like, wait a second. Sammy Watkins is gone. Like, he's gone, but like Sammy Watkins is finally gone. Like his 50-point week 1 is not going to be there anymore. His random September game where he catches 8 balls for 200 yards, it's not there. Who is it going to be? I mean, you have Kelsey and Tyreek, obviously. You got CEH a little bit, but the options behind McCole Hardman are not that great. This guy was still drafted ahead of DK Metcalf. Don't forget that. I mean, obviously not a good pick, but like this team has allegiance to him. He's wide receiver 2 very clearly at this point. He has wheels. I could be talked into drafting him. I mean, I'm not necessarily targeting him, but I'll probably have a couple shares just because he is wide receiver 2 for Patrick Mahomes, and there's really no one else. So I mean, it's same story as usual, but fuck it. I'll take the bait again, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see him being on the field a whole lot outside of Tyreek's injury, honestly.
Yeah, and that's probably right.
Pringle and Robinson are going to be playing on the other side.
Yeah.
Pringle apparently has had a good camp. He's been a good player. He's like a Jamal Williams type.
Yeah.
A good coach's player. Probably does the things right in practice for the playbook. And that's how you get on the field.
It's literally like our lives would be better as like fantasy people if Byron Pringle is relevant too. You know what I'm saying? Like that is an all-time name. His name is Byron Pringle. Like that you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Incredible. Well, I don't know.
So Mahomes, will you own him at all? I mean, outside of Dynasty, because you traded for him.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know. At one point in the offseason, I believe it was like close where like I was like, okay, Mahomes is the QB1, but we have Josh Allen pretty close here, and we got Kyler. But now it's like Mahomes is like here, and it's like, I mean, he should be, but like, will I have him? No, because like, I'm drafting who am I drafting? Allen Robinson in that range. Just guys that are not quarterbacks, I guess.
Not
I mean,
quarterbacks in the top 3 rounds.
and like he's probably worth it. Hey mom, good night.
Hi honey, good night. I love you.
Me too. And he's probably worth it because he's Mahomes. He'll probably be QB1, but he'll be worth it for that team, not mine. I mean, I'm not a huge fan, I guess, of that opportunity cost.
Yeah, me neither. Great player. He'll be fun to watch. Fun to own in Dynasty.
Oh yeah.
Draft doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I get that. I get that entirely. So is that the entire division besides the 2 guys?
It is.
Okay.
So Tyreek Hill, the elephant in the room.
Yes.
He's going. He suggested to me at the 9th